Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Stefan DeVille from Just Be a Man. I got the usual cast of characters: Mr. Tucker,
Yo, what's good?
Mr. Thigpen,
You stop you.
Mr. Smith,
What's going on?
and Mr. Castile.
What's happening, good people?
All right. So before we begin, we'd like to go ahead and talk about our sponsor for tonight's show, Manscaped. Chuck, take it away.
Do we have to?
Yeah,
Do we
need-
have to?
Yeah, we need to.
Man, let me tell you something, man. We are sponsored by one of the greatest companies to come along in a long time. For men. All right, Manscaped. Listen, we want you guys right now to go to our website, www.jbampod.
.com.
Is that right? .com?
JBAM Pod.
I don't know why I always get that messed up. www.jbampod. And in there you can, click on the link and you can get 20% off. Right? It's fair enough. But let me tell you about their products, man. They got the lawnmower. What is it? Is that the 4.0 now? The
It is the
lawnmower 4.0.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
With the light.
Man, look, you can shave in the dark. It's that simple. All right. But look, I make it fun, but they're really great products, really quality made products. And you make your lady happy. Isn't that what it's all about in the end, fellas?
Yes, sir.
All right. So look, they got the lawnmower 4.0 for your trimming needs. Then they have the what's it called? The ball cropper,
Ball preserver.
ball preserver. You know?
Very ball.
Hey, look, the names are all colorful. I mean, it is what it is, but it does the job. Let me tell you something. I have a friend. We talk. We can find each other. We're fellas. And this guy, he's up in age, right? He says, "Man, I got the balls of a 18-year-old."
No, he said 28, didn't he?
20.
He said, "Look, I was trying to give him a couple years, but yeah,
Okay.
So, but I mean, I'm not calling any names.
No,
But I'm just saying. I'm saying.
I wonder who that might be.
I'm not saying no names, but I'm just saying we have the product works. We have firsthand testimonials, and you should get it because we're telling you need to go get yourself some Manscaped. So look, if you really want to make an impression on your lady, Manscaped, that's the way to go. www.jbampod.com, get you 20% off. Tell them J-Bam sent you.
Yeah, and matter of fact, use JBamscape if you go on Manscaped.
There you go. I'm sorry.
Use JBamscape if you go on manscaped.com, 20% off coupon right there. Bam. Nice and cheap.
And free shipping.
Yeah, of course, free shipping.
You see why we work so well together?
Yeah, we
That's
family. We family.
It's ball-tastic.
Okay, well, I appreciate it, Chuck. All right, so
No worries.
tonight's episode, we wanted to go back in time. We wanted to go back before when we were young and the music we used to listen to. All right, of course, we listened to R&B and soul. We listened to some jazz, and every once in a while we were bold, or we wanted to make grandma happy. We enjoyed gospel music, But now, our biggest influence, I think, in our genre or our age, has been hip hop.
No doubt.
And first, before we get into this, want to give a rest in power shout out to Biz Marquis.
Yes, indeed.
We lost brother too early, too soon. He had some health
Yeah.
issues, but still, it doesn't matter. If you're gone at the age of 5 or you're gone at the age of 90, a lot of times you're still gone too soon because he's going to be missed by family, friends, and definitely his fans. I mean, I just saw Biz at a barbershop about 4 years ago, and he was just as personable as could be. Matter of fact, he lived in Bowie.
Yeah.
So it wasn't uncommon to run into Biz Marquis in the local area. He was still doing DJ parties. He would still spit if required. And and a lot of people really were influenced by Biz personally. Matter of fact, I just saw a testimonial where Big Daddy Kane credited Biz Marquis for getting his career started. So, you know, rest in peace to Big Biz Markie. Anybody else have any testimony on Biz?
I would just want to say is that, you know, he's one of those dudes that's really colorful and has a lot of energy. And if you think about it, there's not a lot of rappers that were fun like that, right? They were, you know, I mean, you might think of the Fat Boys and you might think of like Busta Rhymes, who's very, very animated.
And Heavy D.
Yeah, but Biz Markie is kind of a fun dude, like funny kind of dude. And so I heard a real interesting story that after this, that his number one hit that got a friend, just a friend, that they asked him why did he think that he could sing on that track, and he had said that the person who was supposed to sing the hook didn't show up, so he just went with it. He went with it.
Oh,
and that's
wow.
his number one. The number one charting song.
Best decision he ever made.
Oh, no doubt, man. You can't
I
even
didn't know
think
he
about
sung that
Bismarck.
part. I didn't realize he
You didn't know?
No, I knew he
The "Oh
rapped.
Baby
I knew
You"
he,
part?
Yeah, I knew he rapped it.
Oh, that
I
was-
didn't know he sung that part.
Yeah, he was playing with it because that's what he had.
Oh yeah, when he started singing, I looked at the radio like, what the hell? But
He had the Beethoven on the video. He had the Beethoven joint on at the piano.
After that, right?
He was wilding out.
After it took off. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's it. I just want to add that. That's something I heard. I think it's true. I heard on the internet. Can't
Well,
be a lie.
because of that, I think he got the name like the court jester of rap or something like that.
Right.
And then you have a lot of other groups that kind of came behind him doing other stuff. So like the Fat Boys and stuff like that. And you know, so I mean, I believe he does get credit for that.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just the last thing is, he was 57. That's right now. That's right in our wheelhouse, fellas.
Right.
Yeah, no doubt.
2 years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll tell you, that's a great segue into tonight's conversation. You know, we were sitting around talking about certain influences in life, and we said, you know, we need to look at hip hop because it's been a big influence on our lives. And I just want to read a quick definition what they considered hip hop music. Hip hop music, also known as rap music, is a genre of popular music developed in the United States by inner city African American and Latino Americans in the Bronx Borough of New York in the 1970s. It consists of a stylized rhythmic music that commonly accompanies rapping, a rhythmic and rhyming speech that is chanted. It developed as part of hip hop culture, a subculture defined by four stylistic elements: MC rapping, DJ and scratching with turntables, breakdancing, and graffiti writing. And then the last thing it talks about other elements, including sample beats or bass lines for records and rhythmic beatboxing. So, I mean, that's in line with hip hop, and one of those things that we actually became accustomed to. You know, we heard certain beats, and we're like, you know, that's funky. And then our parents would say, "Oh, the Staple Singers used to sing that," and we're like, "Really?" You know, and so I'm gonna go to Charles first. What do you think about the influence of hip hop in your life or the lives of your kids?
I mean, it's been incredible, man. I mean, I just think back to even when we first walked around Morgan's campus. You know, that was the year, I don't know if you recall, that Crush Groove came out.
Yeah.
And that was the first time that you really saw and you put faces to a lot of these rappers that were out there. You know, I think the folks in New York, you know, knew them, but, you know, they really became sort of household names and characters upon the release of that movie.
Yeah.
And I just remember, you know, the guys from New York, you know, the Wayne Tuckers of the world at Morgan State, man, they were walking around like they had made it. You know what I mean? I mean,
You gotta check the credits, brother. Check the
man,
credits.
you could not tell those New York cats anything, you know, when after that movie came out. So, you know, it's just cool to see, man, you know, the influences. And I think even, you know, the political influences. You think about some of the rhetoric that was coming out of the White House in the 80s. And now, you know, fast forward to the 2000s and you have rappers that are actually performing at the White House.
Mm.
So this is it's come full circle, is blown up tremendously, it's touched every aspect of life, man, and I'm loving it. So that's my take on it, brother.
Okay. So you're absolutely right. I think Wayne kind of introduced all of us. No, not Mike, because Mike heard it before us. But dudes from DC, besides and I've got the album downstairs, Sugar Hill Gang.
Hmm.
Really, we didn't hear a lot of rap music in the DC area, and then we show up to Morgan State University and we're like, bam, we're getting hit with this track and that track. And I'm like, oh, this is good. And then, of course, the girls loved it. So we got to love it.
Hmm.
So what do you think about it, Wayne? Your freshman year coming down and schooling us young cats.
Nah, so what happened is, I went back and looked, and I remember it growing up, but I'm not really good with years like that, so I kind of looked it up. And Rapper's Delight was released in 1980.
Mm-hmm.
So what was that? Was that 8th grade?
It was 7th grade for me.
7th, 8th grade, right?
Yeah.
So that when that first came out, and it was on the radio, that was it. Like in New York, like that was the rap song. It was like there was like one song, everything was R&B, and then there was that every so often. Everybody's waiting for that, and then it would come on a couple hours later or whatever. But it was one song, the Sugar Hill Gang. That was it. And then a couple years later, it was The Message by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have to disagree with you, brother.
About
some of the dudes you're talking about. A lot of those guys made it to the radio. From New York.
No. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm saying those are the first ones that were on the radio. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
The first. I'm sorry. That's what I'm saying. They're the first ones I heard on the radio. There's a ton of dudes that no one's even heard of, right? And so
they made it to some of the beats because I'm sorry when I cut you off, but I got off. I'm like, wait a minute, we got to talk about some of these underground dudes. But
yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of people that was out there. Like you said, they were the one that they put out front. It's kind of like the Jackie Robinson, right? He wasn't the only baseball player, but he was the representative of all black baseball players. So this was one that I guess the masses could deal with, so they put it out there. So go ahead, Mike.
Well, radio play it. Well, my take on it, due to the fact I'm a little older than the oldest one in the crew, I spent a lot of time in Brooklyn. Those hot summer nights, sitting out on the stoop, waiting for Keisha to get home. Because he was in private school. Just having flashbacks of Keisha. She was a bad mama jammer. That's what I can say. She was a bad mama jammer.
It sounds like she broke your heart.
No, she was just so bad, but she was so close, but yet so far. She was a stupid way, but she wasn't looking like it. So I would sit on the stoop and play handball anyway. During that time of listening to that, a lot of the dudes up there had tapes, and they had tapes of dudes like Spoonie G. Remember Super Sperm? Super Sperm. They had the Treacherous Three. They had the Funky 4 plus one more. The Cold Crush Brothers. The Crazy Crew. Busy B. A lot of them. But the one I remember the most was when I went on a trip to the Bahamas and I recorded The Adventures of Super Rhyme. Do y'all remember that? Super Rhyme.
I do remember that.
Jimmy Spicer. I forgot his name. I forgot his name, but and the Rapping Dude. Those are the two things that brought me a little fame. Remember Rapping Dude? Daha. Nobody thought hip hop was bringing it this far.
Yeah.
That's my little spiel. That I think that rapping goes a long way, but there's certain guys that made the radio, and certain guys that didn't. They made it to the vinyl, which they use a lot of their beats. But I think it's very important that we remember, some of the history. And I'm sure there's other people that would agree. There's other people, but I think that the genre, the mix. When we were at Morgan, between Go-Go, I never heard of Go-Go, and you guys were being introduced to all these different rappers or whatever. I think it was just a mix, but it was a good mix because people said they didn't like it, but we listened to it.
Yeah. So let me just say something real quick before the next one goes. I just wanted to say that Mike mentioned all these different people that were out at the time. That main radio play was was the couple of names that I had mentioned. But by the time we got to Morgan, there was a few more. But when dudes would go home, and there was this dude, Red Alert.
Yep.
And on Friday nights, Saturday nights, he was on the ones and twos, and people would be taping and bringing it back like they had their friend. That had some new stuff. Like
with commercials, with the commercials in it.
Had to keep the commercials. You know, I missed the song. But I just want to add that. So Red Alert was like, he put it out there.
Real
Volleyball
talk.
too.
Real talk.
DJ Volleyball.
Real talk. I still have the cassettes that you brought back, Wayne, for me downstairs, but I don't have a cassette player.
Wow.
I refuse to throw them away. I mean, it's that old school. So one day I'm gonna find a cassette player and play it.
Yeah, you might not want to do that. They might pop.
But hey, why not? All right. So
that only adds value to it when you fix it and you put the tape around that one little spot.
Oh, what?
It just adds value.
That took technique.
Charles,
he was an expert.
Charles, I'm gonna test your rap knowledge. All right, tell me this group and tell me this song. I'm the king of rock. There is no higher.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Run DMC, bro.
My man. What's the song?
You just said it.
Yeah, you just said it. You just gave the
name. No, I didn't.
Sucker MC.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I did. Yeah, anyway, but still, I mean, you hear that first lyric. How some of those songs, those first lyrics, just come out of it. And what does it do to you? And what memories does it bring to you?
Are you talking about me?
Yeah.
Well, bottom line is, man, I mean, hip hop is it captures you in a way that no other genre really does. And when you think about the beat, when you think about the rap, when you think about, the mixing, when you think about all those things, man, it's just is one of those things, man. It hits home, and it immediately, just like so many other genres, it can take you back instantly to where you were when you first heard it. Now, we talked a little bit about hip hop and how it was really on the rise back when we were in school. But go-go was on the rise at the same time. And I know we're talking about hip hop tonight, but the other thing that I want to really talk about is how the two kind of intersected at times, because there were many rappers that, put go-go music, over there, basically into they did their lyrics over go-go music is what I meant to say. And so, yeah, so those two genres were really coming up at the same time. Obviously, hip hop took off worldwide, and go-go certainly has not, but still it was really neat to see how those two genres intersected during that particular time period.
All right, so Chuck, LL Cool J is hard as hell. Battle anybody I don't care who you tell. What's the song?
I don't care because I hate LL Cool J because he stole my career. All right.
What's the influence of hip hop for you?
Well, me.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna put it out there. A lot of people don't know this. I was there. I was there at the beginning.
He was trying to be a rapper. He was.
I'm sorry. You said trying. Let's not do that. Okay. I influenced a lot of people. Okay, and a lot of people have their careers today because of me. I'm not gonna name any names. It's not important. All right. My name was Chucky Fresh. All right, and
Wayne's about ready to throw up.
And it was my time. All right, it was my time. Look, I put a lot of people on. I started a production company and everything called Funky Fresh Productions. Right, and I was gonna be the next big thing.
You said Funky Finger Productions?
There you go. No, it's Funky Fresh.
It was Funky Fresh. Yeah.
And I had it before in Living Color, so they owe me a royalty check too. See, I'm a pioneer a lot of this stuff, man. So don't ask me about LL, don't get me started on Russell Simmons.
Ain't that like what's that dude? The dude said they stole rock and roll from him. Is that Little Richard?
Look, man. Hip hop has crossed every genre. It has brought. What other genre of music has rap is they have rappers doing opera. I saw that the other day on TikTok. I'll see if I can pull it up one day. But opera, country, you got Lil Nas X. I mean, I mean, now here's what we also have to understand. When rap came out, it was our music. It was party music. You know, it popped off when Sugar Hill Gang and it got on the radio and all that, and then it crossed over into the white communities, and so white kids started, and then so hey, what is this? And it took off. So it's crossed all lines, and it it tells a story, and I think that's why it's storytelling set to music, and for us it's cultural, but for other folks, they can learn a little something, right? Charles touched on something a little while ago, back in the day, rap and politics, fight the power, right? Tawana Brawley, all that back in the day, y'all remember that? So I mean, rapism, it has touched and has influenced, and like he said, rappers going. Who would have thought Easy E would be at the White House?
Dripping.
I mean, I'm just saying. You got gangster rap in the White House. So, yeah. I mean, for us, I mean, well, I you can't have the good without the bad. You know me, and not trying to be a shit starter, but I'm a fan of old school rap. We're coming into. I'm not a fan of this new school generation because I don't think they're talking about anything. We had conscious rap, we had KRS-One, stuff like that. That's kind of the stuff that I was a fan of, and then the party stuff also. But nowadays, people are just talking to talk, and it's really no substance behind the music to me. I'm not as invested as I used to be, but but it's still, nonetheless, it's still storytelling. It's still touching people. And I'll leave it on this note: go and rap is been adopted by the church. You got pastors and preachers who are trying to get the word across or out to another generation through this genre of music. So to me, that's that's the power of it right there.
Yeah,
Or
great
part of the
point.
power of it.
Yeah, great points. And, and just through my world travel with rap, I've heard German rap, and it's like I don't know what they're saying, but I lean over to the daughters and like they're saying this and this and this. There's French rap. There's definitely rap in Asia. And then of course there's even rap in Africa. Nigerians, through their beats are
Everywhere.
developing raps. South Africans. So it's unique. Now I agree with you, Chuck, with regards to today's rappers. The majority of them are not meeting the mark that we expected from our past rappers. They're not storytelling. They're not painting a picture. They're not getting as conscious like Public Enemy.
They're entertainers.
One of the last kind of rappers that is still conscious is Common, the rapper Common from Chicago. He still pushes out.
You got something out there. You got to skip J. Cole. He's good.
J.
That's
Cole,
my dude.
J. Cole,
as well as Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
Kendrick. Right.
Kendrick Lamar. Yeah, Kendrick puts out stuff, but there's also another cat out there that is still under the radar. And I can't pronounce his last name, but it's Toby Nigui.
That's right.
Yeah. That dude. Of course, he laid out one of those songs. Try Jesus, not me. Because I lay hands.
Because I fight.
So he sent out a message real quick. Try Jesus, not me. Because I fight. So, how do you guys think rap has influenced the nation? We talk about the crossovers. You got Nelly and Tim McGraw doing a rap called Over and Over. What do you think about? And anyone can jump in on this. How rap has influenced or pissed off the nation, especially your Fox News. Go ahead, Wayne.
I mean, we talked about these different types of hip hop music, right? And so, just want to say, like, when we talk about the influence of hip hop, it's a culture, right? So there's a lot of pieces to it. Music is one piece to it. But when you talk about music that is kind of controversial or things that people don't want to hear, yeah, at the beginning, all the politicians was trying to, you know, destroy it, right? They said it would never last, right? But you have like your public enemy. No one liked to hear none of that stuff. But you know what? Spike Lee put it in a movie. You know what I mean? So yeah, KRS-One. Now KRS-One is a real conscious rapper, but he wasn't. You know, they did to stop the violence and stuff like that. You know, which was. You know, that was a hot track, and I think they did something similar to that on the West Coast too. But you know, I think that there was a group called X Clan. I don't know if you remember them, Vainglorious.
Vainglorious.
Yeah. So I mean, but there was some people who was doing, you know, that Black Power movement and all those different things. But I think
Bambaataa.
African Bambaataa, right, with the beats and the DJ. Yeah. So it's like it's done. The music is done a lot, and everyone can. So right now, there's so many broad. It's so broad. Anyone and everyone can find a space to actually become an artist or find someone that they like.
Let me tell you the power of hip hop. The power of hip hop got Kanye West ass up on the stage in a position to say George Bush does not like black people. Y'all remember that?
Yeah. Absolutely. Who doesn't? Yeah.
You're right. So I mean, hip hop has become extremely powerful. It's created voices to the voiceless, and again, it's because of the stories that have been told through hip hop. People have been forced to listen in a different way that they weren't, you know, and they may not get the message right away, but you know, it still gets out there.
But is it still controversial? You know, and the reason I asked that question is because there was so much pushback from the White House at one point. You don't hear that anymore. Allen Iverson, his whole style, you know, with the braids and the tats and, you know, all of that was frowned upon when it was initially sort of brought to the forefront. And now it's totally accepted. You have
the norm.
Yeah, it's the norm. You have Snoop. He must get like a paycheck almost every day, bruh, with so many commercials that he's in. I mean, he's hanging out with Martha Stewart.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Drinking beer on the beach.
Yeah, and you drink a beer on. I mean, every time you turn around, you seeing this dude. So my question to you guys is that something that you deem to be hurtful to the genre, or does it have any impact whatsoever?
Well, what being hurtful?
No, just the fact that it seems to be watered down now. It's less controversial than what it used to be.
I think.
Go ahead, Mike.
No, I think it's changed. You guys remember Tribe Called Quest? Who else? There was
De La Soul.
De La Soul. Everybody was wearing the red, black, and green around their neck. Positive, uplift. And I guess it got to a certain point in hip hop that wasn't cool anymore. They wanted more. Ever since NWA came out, they pushed the envelope because a lot of people were listening to more hardcore stuff. So all that being uplifted, being a good dude and doing everything you're supposed to do, I guess that wasn't it anymore. So a lot of people changed. And I think once it changed, I think people took some stuff a little too far. There's nothing wrong with talking about what goes on the street, whatever. But when it gets to the point where you're telling people who you killed or who got killed or making fun of people or doing disrespectful stuff, I think it changed a lot, you know, and I think it changed how the new kids who came into rap, how they went about rapping, because that's what they saw. Instead of them going back and doing their due diligence, they started from where they were at instead of doing. And I think a lot of them who are successful is mainly probably because they have catchy beats. To me, you know, I'm out there cutting the grass. I'm cutting the grass listening to Papa Smoke. Yo, I never heard this dude before, but I'm listening to him cutting grass. But yo, the beat got me going. You know, I don't know so much about the words, but you know, I think it's changed over the years, and it's a powerful tool, and you got to use it the right way. And like I said, it's just changed a whole lot. So once the power's in your hand, it's how you handle it.
I just want to say real quick, I'm sorry, but the you know, the imagery that you just mentioned, the biggest names or the biggest legends in hip hop right now is always going to be Biggie and Pac, and they just are, right. And so, and why was that? Because they painted a picture, like their lyrics painted a picture. Either both of them. You saw Brenda and the Baby, right? You saw the 10 Crack Commandments. You saw the whole thing with it. So it's like everyone's not doing that. I think that there's a formula today, to Charles's point. I think there's a formula, a blueprint to say, hey, get Swiss Beats to do something for you, or Timberland to do something for you, and all you gotta do is make a dance. And now you on.
Yeah, it seems like it. Well, a lot of these new rappers, that's really all. There's a new rapper coming out every day. All right. But just like with any other class of music, rap, there's now when it first started, it was rap, right? Then it was hip hop because it was more cultural, and now it's you got gangster rap, trap, mumble rap, so I mean it's broken down into a whole bunch of different things. So now we're at the point now where we have to take some of these dudes and we got to put them in their specific categories. And so you're not going to put a little Yachty up against you know what I'm saying, somebody from our generation. So you've got your mumble rap, and then you've got your rap, then you got your gods of rap, like your Rakims and things, what I'm saying. So but in terms of rap, or it being, I guess, disrespectful to, I don't want to say that any part of it is disrespectful. There's something for everybody, right? So these kids that are coming up now, they're into this mumble rap or whatever. But I'll be in the car with my son, and I'll throw on some old stuff, and he's like, "Whoa." I'm like, well, you never heard. And so I play it for him, and he's like, look, there's no school like the old school, man. I mean, kids are still nodding to it, and it's that timeless music or whatever. I mean, who's to say that this mumble rap, years from now, somebody may consider that timeless? Doubt it. But rap is just it's continuously evolving. And if you go back and just listen to it, because it's storytelling, you can see where the trends actually evolved. At one point they're talking about what? They're talking about politics and more conscious, and then they start talking about it's more party music. You got Diddy and all them, and Mace and all them, and then it moves from there to what? It becomes a little more dark, and they start talking. So I mean, there's ebbs and flows. You can really track the evolution of hip hop if you just listen to some different artists and some of the music. I mean, the evolution is right there, and that's actually, to me, that's part of the beauty of it. Because we can look at that stuff. It's storytelling. It's beautiful, but again, I'm not necessarily a fan of the newer stuff.
Yeah. Okay, not a problem. Hey guys, I want to ask you just to think about your top 5 all-time hip hop artists. It could be new generation, old generation, and I'll go first. My top 5, and I have an honorable mention. All right, but my top 5 is Jay-Z, Kendrick Lamar, Eminem, Missy Elliott, and Nas. And then my honorable mention is J. Cole. Okay, so Wayne, your top 5 would be?
In order, right?
No, it doesn't have to be in order.
I mean, my favorite is going to be Biggie. It just is, right? Just he's my favorite. I really like, right today, I like J. Cole, and Kendrick Lamar is pretty good. And there's a couple other dudes that probably not many people have heard of. I'm a fan of Nas. And I do like Missy Elliott just for her being different. One of the things we didn't really touch on was the women of hip hop.
Yeah.
And, one of the things is, Little Kim came out doing her thing. I know we're talking about something else, I'm sorry. But these women today are owning their sexuality. You know what I mean? The Cardi B's, the Megan Thee Stallion. So, you got to shout them out for that, whether that's what you dig or not. They doing their thing. But yeah, so I think I gave you 5. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you gave me 5. You have an honorable mention?
There's so many. But lyrically, Rakim.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, definitely Rakim.
And he never cursed.
Mhm.
Never, because his parents would listen to it, so he was very conscious about
So
that.
yeah.
What do you say, Mike?
I would say, of course, Tupac, Nas, Biggie, Jay-Z. Of course, you got Big Daddy Kane and Rakim.
Okay, all right. Any honorable mention?
Uh, not right now that I can remember any honorable. Well, you know what? There's one brother that didn't make it. Well, he only made it to a certain point because he was killed before his time. Big L.
Mm.
Okay, okay. Charles, what do you think?
Definitely Biggie, Tupac. I would say Jay-Z, Nas, and I like Ice Cube. you know,
Yeah,
I
okay.
definitely like Ice Cube.
Yeah.
And as far
Okay.
as
Another painted
honorable,
picture.
yeah, that dude, man, lyrically, I mean, he brought the heat, brother.
No Vaseline.
No Vaseline. Yeah, that's one of my favorites right there.
No
But
small, cooking hog, right?
yes, sir. An honorable mention. I would say the late great DMX.
Yeah.
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 Ooh.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
How'd he not make? Yeah. Good
Yeah.
call, Charles. I missed that one.
So Chuck, besides yourself, give me your give me your top 5 rappers.
My top 5.
Yes, sir.
My top 5 is Dylon, Dylon, Dylon. All right.
You don't remember that from Puffy? From
No.
Puffy's thing? You don't remember that?
Big
Big in the
band.
band? That's funny.
Well,
I
look
spit
at
hot fire. I spit hot fire.
That's right. I walk to Brooklyn, get some cheesecake. I'll be honest with you, man. I really don't have a top 5, but I will say this, and I'm making people mad. Biggie and Tupac would never be in my top 5.
Okay.
And you know why I say that? Okay. I take that back. Tupac might squeak in there, but Biggie didn't do enough. Biggie gets credit for dying early. Sorry.
I disagree.
Biggie gets credit for dying early.
No.
He made a
He
martyr.
made an impact. He made an impact while he was
I
here.
didn't say he didn't make an impact. Didn't say he didn't
Oh,
make an impact, but his impact what? But then what?
But he made everybody step up. Biggie made
So-
everybody step up because Jay-Z was out there. Biggie was out there coming up, and I think that when Biggie came out, Jay-Z was doing his
Biggie's
thing.
music was hot. Everybody liked it, whatever. And then, the West Coast, East Coast beef and all that. Then he got killed, and then that's when he blew up. Yeah, we liked Biggie when he's here, and his music was hot and all that. But the West Coast, East Coast, he killed and all that. And then it was like, oh my God, he became a martyr. He became a hip hop martyr.
I would say that maybe he was big in the world after he died, but he was hot in New York the whole time.
Yeah, he was hot.
No
When
doubt.
He was out.
No doubt. No doubt.
It was all a dream.
But
Chuck.
had he lived, he would have
It was
been
all a
another
dream,
hot
Chuck.
rapper that ran his course.
Chuck, wake up. It's all a dream.
He spit
I
hot
know
fire.
you-
Hot fire.
Chuck,
Anyway, I don't have a top 5.
I know you used to
Okay,
read
that's
World
fine.
magazine. Don't act like you didn't.
I ain't gonna lie, this is all hate. I hate every one of them bastards for stealing my career. All right, but if I had to choose, Jay's in there, Eminem's in there lyrically, Rakim, that's 3. I'm gonna say I'm gonna throw out J. Cole because I think he deserves it. And Kendrick.
Okay.
And no particular order. And trust me, I'm not even wedded to that list.
That's fine. Hey, let's talk about rap crossovers because we've had rappers that have crossed over and had successful careers. First person I think is Queen Latifah in Living Single. And I mean, she's still in movies
LL.
or in
LL too.
LL. Ludacris.
Look at Ice-T, man.
Ice-T.
Ice-T.
The
Ice
longest
Cube.
running show.
Ice Cube.
And we definitely can't forget the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yes,
Will
sir.
Smith.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
50's making a run at it too.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And 50 can't really act, but somehow he's still in movies. And we
He-
know Snoop can't act, but somehow he still ends up you know, in movies or TV shows.
in
Well, if you
everything.
can't act, own. Yeah, he owns power, doesn't
Yeah, yeah, he does. Yeah, he
he? Yeah.
does. I mean, and Snoop, you know, when you're talking about fun people to be around, I think Snoop would have been one of those fun people to be around too, or still is a fun person just to be around. You don't have to get high with him, but just to hear
Yeah,
him
you do.
talk.
Yeah, you do.
You be in the room, you get a contact anyway.
In the room, you in the room, you about to catch the music.
Yeah,
But you didn't want to
that
leave.
dude is a whole vibe by himself, man.
Yeah.
Right,
So,
right,
yeah,
right. So,
absolutely.
I mean, are there any other rappers that have like crossed over and made big time money? I mean, DJ Khaled's not a rapper, but damn it, he's everywhere.
Well, let me ask you this, Steph. I mean,
Mm.
I think I like where you're going, but here's a question. We're talking about music kind of specifically, and that's really good, right? But what about the economics of hip hop,
Mm-hmm.
right? So at the beginning of it, like all those old heads we talked about, they ain't make no money,
Nope.
right? They was happy to be on, right?
Yeah.
They didn't really make no money. But
Right.
now we got a picture of Jay-Z and Kanye who made $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Now all these other, you know, that's quite an achievement, don't no doubt. But I mean, all these other people have an opportunity to do something like
Right.
this, and they ain't doing it. So I'm just saying, what about the economics of hip hop?
Well, the key thing, the economics of hip hop is owning your own masters. If you write it, you better own it and keep it. You know, and as well as the contracts that are written. We think about New Edition, their first tour, all they were left was like $60 in a moped. You
Mhm.
know, and they got used.
TLC
So
too.
yeah, TLC too. You know, so it's a matter of having either the right agent or really controlling your own masters. You know, and as well as the company. Go ahead, Mike.
No, I was gonna say I agree with you, Steph, but I'm saying that a lot of these guys have evolved. They saw the example of people who got shafted, and they wound up learning, putting more knowledge into, like you said, their masters, how to produce.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that the person was doing in the booth, they learned how to do, you know, and how to get credit, how to put themselves on for credit and different things like that. But one of the things that I learned, a lot of these guys become successful is their capital. A lot of them didn't burn, they used to burn their money, but a lot of them got smarter and started utilizing their money, holding on to it. So when that venture capitalist came and said, hey, I got a good idea for you, you got any money to put down? A lot of these guys were put in a position because of the money that they didn't spend. They were able to get in on, you know, different the ring, the alarm systems, Nas with the mattresses and stuff, and some other a whole Shaq. I mean, well, not Shaq. Shaq is I was saying as far as the
You have a hip
business
hop
goes,
album.
Yeah,
yeah,
he
he did
does.
Shaq Fu. Shaq Fu made a little something,
And
but
DJ Diesel.
right. What I'm saying
Kobe
is that a lot of
put
these
a
guys
track
have
out
gotten
too.
smarter with their investments. They opened up their mind. They weren't just on the genre of rap. They opened up because they were looking for longevity.
But if I could just say, I'm sorry to dominate here, but what some of these people like a Jay-Z did was he found a product and he promoted it, right? And then he bought into it. You know what I mean? Like, and then when they didn't have it, Russell Simmons, you know, they showed them how to do Rockaware. They showed them how to do Def Comedy Jam. You know, Puffy followed that. Puffy got to deal with Ciroc. You know, so what they're doing is by adding their name to something, they're getting broke off. What's
Yeah,
the last? What's the
juice
last? What's that last album Puffy put out?
It was a gospel album, wasn't it?
Or I don't know what it was, but I'm telling you, the boy's still getting paid.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
It's the
absolutely.
same thing Donald Trump's been doing for years. Not to bring politics in it, but that's all they're doing. They're licensing their names,
There you
Right.
go.
and it's
There you go.
and if you have, it's because they're marketable,
Mm-hmm.
and so yeah, it's brilliant if you can do
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about Drunken Love when Jay-Z shot at Ducey, the liquor. I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? The
Mhm.
next thing I know, it's flying off the shelves. And you're
And
right
now,
about
and now he owns it.
yeah, and
Mhm.
you're right about Kanye and Ciroc. You know, now everyone has to go to the club
Puffy
and
and
bottle
Ciroc.
pop Ciroc. You know,
Mhm.
Ciroc's
so
Puffy.
oh, I'm sorry, Puffy.
Yeah.
Well, I did say Sean Combs, didn't I? Didn't I want to say?
No, you said Kanye.
No, you said Kanye.
I did. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Yes. Black people, they all look alike.
That's what I
All
heard.
right.
That's
So
what I heard.
anyway, as we're starting to wrap up,
I'm not black, so
okay. African American, Negro, You know, and when you do your taxes, I bet you right African American on it. But anyway,
I
as
put pay me on it.
refund. All right, so as we starting to wrap things up, what do you guys think of the future for hip hop? You know, will it continue to? We know it's going to evolve because that's just the way of the world. Hell, rock and roll evolved, R&B and soul evolved. Do you think hip hop will still have an influence on the next generation? Not our kids, but our kids' kids. I'll
Yes.
go. Okay, go ahead, Chuck.
Yeah, because white people already stole it. So, I'm being funny. But yeah.
No, but you're
No, I
right.
mean I'm being funny, but I'm serious. There's like everything else that has acquired or proven its value. People kind of swoop in and they try to take it and reap the benefits for themselves. And unfortunately, that's a part of what's happening now. Um, you know, uh, White corporate executives come in and they you know. So, but one of the things that I think Mike said is so true. This new generation of entrepreneur of music person, mogul, whatever, they're learning that it's a business. You have to know your business. It's one thing to know your craft, but you have to know your business. And they're coming in here and they're armed and they're coming in here smart. And you have former rappers like Chameleonaire. Who he's not rapping anymore. He invested early. He took his money, he invested. He's sitting pretty, and
E42.
he showed other artists about, and one of the ways he got out of his contract was he found out about audits and how to audit what the company was actually taking from him. And once he did that and found out that they were taking like millions from him, he was like, hey, let me out of my contract, or I'm going to teach all these other artists about audits and and that's how
Mm,
he got out of his contract. So
mm,
after that, he took his money and started investing in other stuff. But what he also did was just that. He started teaching some of these new cats coming into the business about the business. And now you got TikTok and you got all these other social media things, and a lot of these kids are getting their start off of these websites. So these kids are coming into the industry much better equipped than before. They're, like you guys said, they're taking the power back, and I think hip hop is going to be here. It's going to be alive and well, and if we do it right, it can remain ours.
okay. What do you think, Mike?
Um, I think it's going to evolve, and like I said, it's evolving. It's going to continue to evolve, but as long as you follow somebody with that blueprint, Jay-Z. He said that he came up with the album Blueprint for a reason, because it was something that he had to follow to be successful. And I think that's for everybody in the rap game. If you want to have some longevity or be able to sit on the beach once your career is done, because it can be over in a heartbeat, you have to constantly be active. You have to constantly be current, and you have to look out for your future. And I think that's what a lot of them are doing. And one in particular is um, Wingstop. What's my brother name?
Rick Ross, Rose.
There you go. Maybach
Okay.
music, baby. He
Yeah.
got listen. He hooked. Listen, he got all the Wingstops, and he said he made his mother and his sister millionaires already because now they running the show for him while he's still doing his thing. He leasing out space to what? Coming to America too. That was his spot. They were using
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
backyard or whatever the
Yep.
acreage he was using.
Yep.
So, hey man, you got to find your niche and do what you got to do, so you can still have fun and rap, do your thing, and still make money on the side. That Wingstop is passive income. You go to sleep, wake up, you done killed them for the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But
Okay.
anyway, I think it's evolving. As long as these guys stay on top of the game, they'll do fine.
Okay. What do you think, Charles?
Same. There's no stopping this, man. No stopping this train. It's here to stay. It'll continue to evolve. It's here forever, and we loving it. So that's my take on it, man. It's there ain't no stopping hip hop, bro.
Okay. Wayne?
Yeah, I agree with everybody. At the beginning, Steph, you talked about the different components of hip hop and the whole culture. It's music is a big part of it. I think that's maybe what's out front, but it's a whole culture, right? There's fashion that's around it. There's a swag that's around it, which is connected to, there's language and slang. It's not going anywhere. This is like embedded in society now.
Exactly.
So if the music stopped, all this other stuff would still go on.
Yeah.
And the music ain't stopping.
Right.
Mhm.
And I agree with you. Today's college kids, if you want to have a party, you're going to play hip hop. I mean, and this is at private, predominantly white institutions, as well as, of course, our HBCUs. You go down to Cancun or a resort, and you're around a bunch of young kids. Hip hop is playing. And the influence is just unbelievable. The only place it's not playing is at a Trump convention.
I thought you were gonna say at Oral Roberts University.
Or Roberts University, the only Christian stuff, and at most of the local KKK meetings. I doubt if they're playing hip
No,
hop.
I think that's what they start with. Jesus walks.
That's another show.
Yeah. But anyway, definitely, I think the influence of hip hop will be here forever. Um, I look at it and I think all the time. They love our rhythm. They just don't want our blues. So
Oh damn.
so and it's making money. It's making kids that may not have been successful in life millionaires as well as billionaires because they are wise to the game. They've learned how to manipulate the system, and they've also learned how to energize the system, and as well as energize many people. Any closing comments? Anybody that want to shout out?
Yeah, I got one real quick, and I'll try to keep it brief. Look, um, this year they're going to be voting for hip hop. Um, what is it? What I'm looking for? Hip hop icon. And I would appreciate it if y'all would put my name in that. My career was short, man, but but I made an impact. All right. A lot of you rappers out there, you know me. You owe me money.
You got
So,
an 8-track?
You know what I'm saying? If you're not gonna pay me, at least give me my credit. Put me in the Hall of Fame. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. All right. So you got at least 4 votes and
Look,
yourself.
as I look off into the distance.
the look away. There you go.
The look away? Not the rock away, the look away.
Yeah. Real quick, Steph. Before you close out, you just said the look away. We didn't give any shouts out to Fat Joe or Big Pun, any of those. The Hispanic rappers with Pitbull. They have a big role in this, right?
Huge role.
Fat Joe's been around for a long time. He's still putting out stuff. So just wanted to mention that real quick. And yeah, I think it's cool because this is something that we can relate to. And to Chuck's point, that mumble rap, that might be the shit at some point. It ain't now, to me.
Right.
Well, your kids are gonna be senior citizens.
At some point.
Yeah, they will.
You remember when we used to listen to? Yeah, come on,
Migos.
Yes. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time listening to us old heads talk about the influence of hip hop. We invite you to find us on all your social media venues, your YouTube, iTunes, Apple, which is of course iTunes, Instagram. You're looking at us on Facebook right now, as well as go to our webpage www.jbampod.com, where you can find all our episodes. And I think we're over 70 episodes. So definitely, we appreciate your time and effort. And on that note, Mike, send us away.
Deuces.